Hey friends, welcome. It's Jeremiah here, and today we're going to talk about SwiftUI stacks. We're going to talk about the VStack, the HStack. We're even going to talk about the ZStack. We're going to throw in some 2020 newbies, the LazyHStack and the LazyVStack. And then we're also going to take a glimpse at the scroll view. Before we get into the video, please hit that subscribe button down below, turn on that bell notification, and let's get into some code. We're going to create a single column layout of user information. The information is going to consist of name, title, and an image. First, I want to implement a VStack. I'm going to create a SwiftUI view, and I'm going to name it vertical stack row view, and then I'm going to hit create. But before we do anything here, let's go look at our user model. In user.swift, I have a struct that conforms to identifiable. This is needed later when using for each. I also have a helper struct for test data. Now let's create that VStack. First, I'm going to hit resume, start the live preview feature. Yeah, builds. Okay, there we go. Next, I'm going to remove the text view and replace it with a VStack. Inside the VStack, I'm going to need some text views. But before I do that, let me add a user property. I'm going to define it, and then I need to add it to the preview provider so we can get some data for our preview. We're going to use user test data, and we just want one user, so we call first and force unwrap it. Now I can add those text views in the VStack. I'm using the font view modifier to get a different look for the name versus the position. The name is going to use body, and the position is going to use sub headline. You'll probably need to hit resume again to show the preview since we added the user property. We have two text views vertically displayed, but they're centered, and I don't want that. I want them to be leading a line. So I'm going to adjust the VStack instance, and I'm going to include the alignment argument, and I'm going to pass in .leading. Now the views have the leading alignment. They update in real time, and I can see they look exactly like I want. There's other view modifiers you can add to your stacks. One of them is padding. To add a predefined amount of space around your views, just add padding. We're going to use this later, so I'm going to delete it here. This is our VStack, a view that displays items in a vertical line. Now let's try HStack. I'm going to add a new SwiftUI view, and I'm going to call it horizontal stack row view. I'm going to hit create, and in this view, I'm going to display the user image along with the VStack. I need the user property here, so let me define it and then add it to my preview provider. We're using the same user test data as we did in the vertical stack row view, getting the first user and force unwrapping it. I have to hit resume because I made changes. Now I can replace the text with an HStack. Inside my HStack, I'm going to want to display the user image, name, and title. I have a computed property on user that returns an image view, user.profile. For the name and title, let me use the vertical stack row view. I'm going to pass in the user, and now the view updates, and I can see what I'm working with. I don't like it centered though, so I want to move it all the way to the left. To do that, I can add a spacer, and after the vertical row view, and now the data's on the left. Square profile picture's not really nice, so I want it to be round. I can clip my image to a shape, to a circle shape, and done. Now it is a circle. One last thing, the view's too close to the edge. Let me use that padding modifier, and then I've got some room to breathe now, and it looks a lot better. Oh, wait a minute, what happened? Oh, I've got the username in the title. Let me fix that. All right. Okay, so now we have our HStack with user data, but just one row doesn't meet the requirements. I want multiple rows displayed. So I'm going to create a new file, a SwiftUI view, and I'm going to call it user scroll view. I wonder what it's going to do, right? All right, in here, I'm going to add a VStack in place of the text view. First, let me add a user's property. It is going to be an array of user. Then I'm going to add it to the preview provider using the same user test data I've used in other views. Now, I can replace the text view with just a VStack. First starting off, I just want to test it. Inside the VStack, let's use a for each to iterate over all the users and create a horizontal stack row view for each one of them. And in each one of those horizontal stack views, row views, I will need the user passed in. Let me hit resume, get the preview going again, and I have a list. Yes, it's working. The live preview has an interactive mode too. So let me hit this little play button and I can interact with the views that I've created. It's going to take a few seconds. Once it does, the loading indicator is going to go away. There we go. And now you can try to scroll the VStack, and obviously there's no scrolling. It does not scroll. Let me hit the stop button, and I'm going to embed this in a scroll view to get it to scroll. Let me fix these indentations, and now I can go over and hit this play button to enable it. Oh wait, look, you can see the blue line around it is different. It's pointing down. So the highlighted view is already looking different. All right, it's trying to load this interactive preview up, and voila, I can scroll. It looks pretty good. It's nice and smooth. In 2020 though, they announced the lazy versions of these stacks. It's a simple replacement. Just change VStack to LazyVStack and we're done. And now note, this is only available on upcoming OSs, and the lazy versions are better at handling large data sets because they only load the view when it's displayed on the screen. All right, the last one, the ZStack. Yes, I'm gonna create a ZStack that says no cars allowed. Let me resume this live preview so I can see what's going on. I'm gonna try this first with an HStack just to see what happens. We know what's gonna happen, but just let's give it a whirl. I'm gonna create the HStack and put two images, system images inside of it. I need a /.circle first, which is a circle with a line going through it. Then for the second one, I want the car system image. Yeah, that real quick. Perfect. My view is updating and they're lined up horizontally, just like they should be in a VStack, in an HStack. Sorry. Let's try changing that to be centered, the alignment, if that does anything. Nothing changes. Okay, let me change it to a VStack now and see if that fixes anything. Nope. Now they're just aligned vertically. All right, let me change it to a ZStack and there you go. They're right on top of each other. Just for UI purposes, the slash looks a little small. Let me bump the size up using the font view modifier. I'm going to use the title for the system image /.circle, and now it looks bigger, and I can use this as a no cars view anywhere in the app. All right, friends, that's going to wrap it up for today's SwiftUI Stacks talk. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for checking things out. If you want to see more about SwiftUI, I have another video about SwiftUI if it should be used in production. Go check that video out, and I will see you next time.